So this morning, Trump met with Vladimir Zelensky, and I can't help but wonder. So I watched, Trump and Zelensky talk to the media for just a couple of minutes before they went and had their meeting. Zelensky must be meeting with Trump. Everybody thinks, Trump would be harder on foreign leaders, and I wonder if Zelensky is thinking that Trump is more likely to win, which is why I would meet with him. It's interesting that he's meeting with Trump just days after he went through Scranton, Pennsylvania with Josh Shapiro signing missiles. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know why we are in this war. I mean, I know why we're in this war, but I don't know how people are supporting it. We're not even allies with Ukraine. We have no business in this war. I do think that Trump would end it much more quickly. It never would have happened if he were president. I believe that. I think that Putin definitely was more, he had more respect for Trump and probably was more afraid of him. Trump promised in that meeting that he'll have a solution figured out before he takes office if he's elected, which I will be interested to see what that ends up being. I don't really know how that pans out, but an end to the war in Ukraine would be a great thing for all parties involved. There have been so many people killed in that war, like just from like a humanitarian perspective, not even a policy perspective. We don't have any business interfering in that war, really. It seems to be, if there's, it's because the war machine makes a whole hell of a lot of money off of it. And, just think like Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, those sorts of companies are making a killing off of this. But the other side of it too is there's lithium resources in Ukraine that people are interested in. But once again, we do not need to be, we're not the world's police, and we need to not be the world police. We need to stop sending billions and billions of dollars over there, tens of billions of dollars. And I get so frustrated when I see people just talking about, well, the poor Ukrainians. It's like, well, yeah, I get that. But, there's two sides to every story, and that's not to justify, Russia invading them. But Ukraine didn't do a whole lot, a whole lot right in that situation either. It's been a gigantic mess. Ukraine was actually shelling the regions of Russia that Russia invaded, the Donbass, the Luhansk regions. They were shelling them, and one of the events that triggered it was the Ukrainian military fired shells into a community where there were ethnic Russians, and it blew up the side of a school. And that was near the point where Russia said enough is enough and invaded. Now, I'm not justifying the invasion, but what I am doing is saying there's enough blame to go around, and I don't think that we had the moral authority to walk in and pick a side. And beyond that, we aren't even allies with Ukraine, so, what the hell? There's moral sides in Venezuela. We're not picking, we're not, sending billions and billions and billions down there to go to help them out. So or Haiti even. We're not sending a whole lot of money out there. If we're talking about moral authorities, the Haiti's government was toppled earlier this year, and it was run by cartels. Bodies were being stacked in the streets. And what did we do? Well, we sent helicopters down there to pick up U.S. citizens, and that was it. We weren't sending millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars to go restore order in Haiti. So we're picking and choosing where it's going to be beneficial for the people at the top. That's what's happening, and that it cannot be that way. I do think Trump will, if elected, will end that war far more quickly than, it just wouldn't end under a Harris presidency. They would keep it going. They want the forever proxy war. The donors, the lobbyists want the forever proxy war. Gives the U.S. an excuse to flex that military muscle and continue to engage Russia and deplete their resources, and beyond that makes a hell of a lot of money for weapons manufacturers. But I think it's a good sign for Trump that he's meeting with Zelensky, or that Zelensky is meeting with him. The optics are very good for Trump. There's a lot of Trump supporters that say, the war in Ukraine needs to end, and we need to stop pouring the money into Ukraine, which is true. But I think that this validates the point that most of us that have been saying that, we're not saying just immediately, yank the rug out from under and just like, too bad, Ukraine's just gonna die. We've already been involved to such an extent. I think that the solution involves Trump negotiating with Putin, and that has to happen. I don't know why Biden and Harris haven't. That's rhetorical. I say I don't know. I do know, but it's frustrating that they haven't come to a solution on this. There have been hundreds of thousands of lives lost between Ukraine and Russia, and it's incredibly sad to see the young men dying in those numbers. It's a terrible, terrible thing. So anyway, hopefully Trump is elected and there will be a solution found this year. That would be amazing, and lives would be saved, and that would be one more war ended. So anyway, that's all. See ya.